So it looked like Shedeur Sanders just received some incredible news from Browns owner Jimmy Haslam.
That the Browns are probably talking to these candidates a whole lot about what they see and think about Shedeur Sanders, because out of anybody on this roster, he would be someone who would be considered to be a possible quarterback of the future. So I'm sure they're picking the brains of these guys to say.
You know, Scott, I think we saw a lot of progress with Shedeur this year. I think that's both mentally, physically, playing the position. He's still very much a work in progress, like many rookie quarterbacks are. But I think we saw some really good things in terms of, you know, his playmaking, his accuracy, his ability to extend with his feet. And I think I'd also give him credit as well as our offense.
I'm sure that in a perfect world, they would like some of these candidates to get excited about Shedeur and tell the Browns that, hey, we think you have something here, because if they could do that.
The Cleveland Browns are at a crossroads right now, and this time it does not feel like the usual Cleveland crossroads, the one where you already know the ending. The one where the quarterback fails, the coach gets fired, and the fan base gets told to be patient for the 100th time. This time, something different is brewing in Cleveland, something that could actually change the trajectory of this franchise for the next decade. Jimmy Haslam is making moves, real moves, the kind of moves that signal this team is not just patching holes anymore. They are trying to build something from the ground up, and at the center of it all is Shedeur Sanders.
You know, so a lot of people want to see me fail, and it ain't gonna happen. You know, it ain't gonna happen.
Before we break all of this down, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because we cover this Browns quarterback war like nobody else. Now, let us get into why this moment feels different and why the news coming out of Cleveland is massive for Shedeur. Let us be brutally honest. The Browns have been a quarterback graveyard for 2 decades. 26 starting quarterbacks since 1999. 26! That is not a normal franchise. That is a revolving door with cleats. That is a team that never commits and never develops and never protects the position long enough to find out what they actually have. But right now, there is genuine buzz coming out of Cleveland that feels real, and it is pointing toward one thing: Shedeur Sanders becoming the guy. According to breaking reports, the Browns' quarterback plans just got crystal clear, and it is good news for Shedeur. Not just good, great, franchise-altering good. Because the way Cleveland is moving right now suggests they are not looking to restart the quarterback clock again. They are looking to build around the quarterback already in the building. Now, let's talk about what Cleveland just did in the 2025 NFL Draft, because this is where the vision starts to show itself. The Browns executed a blockbuster trade 15 minutes into the draft and walked away with a 7-player haul that rivals any class in the league. Mason Graham at number 5 overall, Carson Swarninger at 33, and people are already projecting him as Defensive Rookie of the Year. Quinn Junkins and Harold Fannin Jr. on offense to provide Day 2 impact. And yes, they also got Dylan Gabriel, and they also got Shedeur Sanders.
I'm sure they're picking the brains of these guys to say, hey, what do you think of what we've got right here, right now? And do you feel like you...
2 quarterbacks, 2 different skill sets, 2 potential futures. But only one name is generating this kind of front office energy. Only one name has ownership reportedly pushing coaching candidates to get on board with the vision. And that name is Shedeur. So ask yourself why. What is it about Shedeur Sanders that has Cleveland moving like this? Start with what we saw at Colorado. Love him or hate him, Deion Sanders built something real in Boulder, and Shedeur was the engine. The kid can throw. He can drive the ball to every level. He can layer passes. He processes defenses like a veteran, and his pocket presence is elite. Pocket presence matters in Cleveland more than almost anywhere. Browns fans have watched quarterbacks panic for years. Happy feet, eyes dropping, bailing out of clean pockets, missing open throws because they're already bracing for contact. Shedeur does not play like that. He stands in, he sees the field, he keeps his eyes up even when the rush is closing. But the Browns are not just betting on tape, they are betting on intangibles. The swagger, the confidence, the way he carries pressure like it is normal, the ability to perform under bright lights while the loudest critics scream his name. If you can handle being Deshaun Sanders' son and playing under that microscope every week, Cleveland should not scare you. And Cleveland needs exactly that, a quarterback who does not crumble when things get ugly, someone who can stand in the pocket when the line breaks down, someone who can make throws with pressure in his face, someone who can lead a locker room even when the season is going sideways.
So I think that, that is something that, especially if you are a defensive-minded head coach, you're going to look at this job and say, yes, they do have the best defense in the AFC North and the best talent in the AFC North. So
that is Shedeur in a nutshell. Now here's the real story happening behind the scenes. The Browns' coaching search is in full swing, and according to insider Mary Kay Cabot, there is a specific agenda inside those interview rooms. The front office is not only asking about offensive philosophy or defensive scheme, they are testing candidates on Shedeur Sanders. That is a massive signal. That tells you where Jimmy Haslam's head is at. He is not looking for a coach who wants to draft another quarterback and start over again. He is not looking for a coach who wants to walk in and flip the room and chase the next shiny prospect. He is looking for a coach who sees what he sees in Shedeur, a franchise quarterback who needs the right system, the right protection, and real support. Think about the implications. Cleveland could chase the 2026 quarterback class if they want. They have draft capital. They have a high pick right now. They can move around if they choose. But everything coming out of Cleveland suggests they are not interested in that route. They are interested in building around the quarterback already on the roster. And that makes sense, because here is the dirty truth nobody wants to say out loud. Drafting quarterbacks is a gamble. For every Peyton Manning and Trevor Lawrence, there are multiple first-round flames. Guys who look perfect on paper, combine stars, workout kings. Then they hit real NFL defenses and fall apart. Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, names that should scare every GM. Shedeur has already proven he can handle pressure. He has already proven he can carry expectations. He has already shown arm talent, processing speed, and mental toughness. Why gamble on an unknown when you have a young quarterback in the building who has already shown you he belongs? The timing of this is also perfect for Shedeur. Dante Moore just announced he is staying at Oregon. That decision reshuffles the 2026 quarterback landscape. One less elite option means teams will panic, teams will reach, teams will make mistakes because they get desperate. Cleveland does not have to be one of those teams. They already have their guy if they are willing to commit. And that is what the reporting suggests is happening. The Browns' runway just shifted. The focus is locked on 2026, and whoever becomes the next head coach will be walking into one main job description: get Shedeur Sanders ready to lead this franchise. Now we have to address the elephant in the room, Deshaun Watson. He is still on the roster. He is still getting paid a ridiculous amount of money. He is still technically the incumbent starter. But does anyone actually believe Watson is the future in Cleveland? After the injuries, after the inconsistency, after the inability to stay healthy or effective, the Browns gave up a king's ransom, 3 first-round picks, more picks on top, then fully guaranteed $230 million. And what did they get? A quarterback who cannot stay on the field and does not look like the same player when he does. That is a sunk cost, and the sooner Cleveland accepts that, the sooner they can move forward. The smart play is clear. Hand the reins to Shedeur. Give him a full offseason. Give him a real plan. Then find out what you have. Now let's talk about why the Browns' situation could actually be perfect for Shedeur if they do this the right way. Mary Kay Cabot pointed out something big about Cleveland's appeal to coaching candidates. They have the best defense in the AFC North, elite talent, real teeth. Mason Graham is going to be a problem. Carson Swarninger is already turning heads. And with a defense like that, you don't have to ask a young quarterback to score 30 every week just to survive. That is the blueprint for developing a young quarterback. You let the defense carry games early. You win ugly when you need to. You keep the rookie out of constant shootouts. You give him room to grow.
Shedeur does not need to be protected because he's soft. He needs to be protected because that's how you develop quarterbacks the right way. Look at C.J. Stroud in Houston. Competent line, weapons, defense that can get stops. The result was immediate success, Rookie of the Year level impact. That is the model Cleveland can copy if they commit. But commitment means more than talk. It means no more half measures, no more splitting reps between 3 quarterbacks, no more we'll see how camp goes. If Jimmy Haslam believes Shedeur is the guy, then make it official, name him the starter, build the offense around his strengths, invest in his protection. And that starts with the offensive line. Because what we saw from Cleveland's line last season was unacceptable. You cannot develop any quarterback if he's running for his life every other snap. Quinn Junkins and Harold Fannin can help, but if Shedeur is getting hit on his 3rd step, none of it matters. The Browns must invest in the line this offseason. Free agency, trades, draft picks, whatever it takes, because the fastest way to ruin a young quarterback is to let him get beat up behind a turnstile line. Here is what makes this entire situation so compelling. For the first time in years, maybe decades, the Browns appear to have a plan. Not just vibes, not just desperation, not just throwing darts at the board. Defense is elite. Draft strategy looks coherent. Coaching search is deliberate. Quarterback of the future is already in the building. Now it's about execution. That brings us back to the coaching search, because whoever gets this job has a real opportunity. You are walking into a top-tier defense, a promising young quarterback, and an owner who seems willing to finally commit to one direction. That is not a normal rebuild. That is a win-now situation with a 2-year window to develop your franchise quarterback the right way. Reports say Cleveland is encouraging candidates to consider retaining defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz and offensive coordinator Tommy Rees. That makes sense. Continuity matters, especially on defense when you already have an identity. If Tommy Rees can build a real relationship with Shedeur and shape an offense that fits him, that could be huge. But the head coach has to buy in completely. If you walk into Cleveland and you don't believe Shedeur Sanders can be the franchise quarterback, you are the wrong coach, because everything is being built around making him successful. The stakes are massive. The Browns haven't had a true franchise quarterback since Bernie Kosar. They have wasted elite defensive talent for years because they can't put consistent points on the board. They have broken their fan base's hearts over and over with false hope and failed experiments. Shedeur Sanders represents a different kind of hope, not manufactured hope, not hype for hype's sake, real hope based on talent, preparation, and opportunity converging at the right time. Can he deliver? That is the billion-dollar question. The tape says yes, the toughness says yes, the pressure handling says yes, and the situation in Cleveland with the right staff and the right protection says yes. But we have been here before with the Browns. We have seen them hype quarterbacks up and watch it fall apart. The difference this time is the infrastructure looks better. The defense is better. The plan looks more real. If Jimmy Haslam is truly all in on Shedeur, if the front office is really pushing coaching candidates to build around him, then Cleveland might have finally found their answer at the most important position in sports. The countdown to 2026 starts now, and 2026 is going to tell us everything. Either Shedeur Sanders becomes the franchise quarterback Cleveland has been begging for, or it's back to the drawing board again. But right now, in this moment, the incredible news for Shedeur is simple. One of the most desperate franchises in professional sports believes in him. They are building around him. They are betting their future on him. Now it's on Shedeur to make that bet pay off, because if he does, Cleveland is not just getting a quarterback, they are getting a franchise savior. And that is not just incredible news for Shedeur Sanders, that's incredible news for every Browns fan who has waited decades for this moment.